Hey, good morning. Welcome to this happy day. I hope you guys are ready to have a great day. And it's going to be a great day. If it's not already, if you haven't been up for, a couple hours doing your thing, if you started your morning by listening to that Steve Harvey message that Lucas shared, great. If not, let this be your message. It's going to be a great day. Are you ready to go? Let's go. I'm excited to be here with you guys again. Just touching bases on a couple things. One, the 2.0 kickoff balance bonus, which is going on right now. That is, in place. Remember, enroll 5 people with 100 BV business volume or more, and you're gonna unlock the opportunity to get you'll get, if you enroll those 5, you will get $200. Okay, on top of all your PIDs, on top of your cycles, on top of everything else, top of any other bonuses, you'll get an extra $200. All right. One thing that I just have to let you know is one of the things that's coming later this fall is there's going to be either some additional money, there's going to be some potential increases to the manager, director, and executive bonus pools. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Executive bonus pools. Let me just remind you, state that again. Executive bonus pools. Okay? So, let me just say, I'm probably going to guess. Probably just going to go out on a big, long 4-inch limb that says that you want to be executive by the end of the month. By the end of this, cycle month, whatever, that is, how we have like 4 and 5 week months. I'm not sure where this one ends. I'm going to guess, I'm going to, look at the calendar real quick and say that the month ends, just going to guess, on August 30th. That would make sense to me. So by August 31st, you want to be to executive. Okay, if you're not executive, that's all right. If you've never been executive and you're manager, director, sweet. I don't know exactly, but I know something's coming. That's all I know. So if something's coming, let's get ready. Here it comes. All right. So that is kind of starting off the 2.0 kickoff balance bonus. Man, why do I say balance? Bonus. And that goes through here August 23rd. Okay. One thing that I was talking to Lucas Hamlin yesterday, who shared that wonderful Steve Harvey message. He hopped on the power hour I had, and we had some great discussion. Talked about some really good stuff as far as coaching up how to deal with some rejection and take those questions to the next level. And I'm going to share because it was so good, and I might even try to rip the video and cut it up in the little segment because even I was inspired by it. It's like I need to go talk to people to talk to them about this. Because it was that good and it just came off the top of my head. Well, anyways, we were talking about this lady he knows, and then, she's really excited about the products, and then she learned a little bit more about it. It's like, oh, it's one of those pyramid schemes. And I told him, time out. Okay. And go back to that conversation instead of hearing that as a hard no. So wait a second. Okay. This lady who's in, product sales, who Lucas knew, she earns a commission based upon anything she sells. And so I told him, it's like, go back to her and say, hey, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. If I approached this, I'm sorry. And, that opens up the door to either say, okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for being honest with me. Or 2, the fact, no, it was on me. And I said, if you were excited about the product, if you walked into a business I owned and you were interested in that product and you knew I'd get a commission off that product, really, this is no different. You have no obligation that you have to build a business. And so there's no obligation you have to put in your social security number. There's no obligation you have to do anything other than just buy the product. It'd be like you walk in and say, hey, I want to buy X, Y, and Z. Great. Let's, put this all on this, tablet or this computer, process your order, and it'll be shipped to your home. Done. That's it. And so I think having those conversations and playing that out and having that discussion, it was so good that Lucas brought that up because it was just really put a lot of things into effect. I read this book and I meant to mention it to him. I don't think it's here still on my desk. It is not, but I've mentioned it, is Never Split the Difference. And in that, the author Chris Voss always says, this is nothing that is on my agenda today, but it's good stuff. He says, go for no. Get them to say no, because once they say no, then you understand where they're at. And her no was, no, I don't want to be a part of a pyramid scheme, whatever that looks like. Oh, You've had bad situations before. Oh, tell me about that. Because I've had bad situations too. And it's like, man, if I came across that way, I never, ever, ever want to feel like that. I am so sorry. I apologize if I ever made it seem like I was trying to, get you into one of those things or whatever. Whoa, that's helped me understand how I did that, because I never want to be like that. And just having that conversation with people and being open with them, really connecting with them. Okay. I'll try to, like I said, rip that because it was really good. And Lucas brought up some great information. So anyways, fall challenges. One thing that Lucas and I talked about as well is starting a fall challenge, whether that's starting August 31st or September 6th, right after Labor Day, whatever that may be. I think that is a great way to get people engaged. One of the things that I've learned in the last 24 hours and I've seen is that we live in a world right now where there's really a degradation of trust. There's a degradation of trust. And one of my challenges to you and thought is make a list. Make a list of those, 4 or 5 key components in your life that, whether it be your job, whether it be, isogenics, whether it be leaders, whether it be enrolling sponsors, business partners, whatever it may be, and go through and just list out those names. And then think about on a scale of 1 to 10 where your trust level is. And I say that for this reason. If your trust isn't, say, 8 or higher, then there is a degradation in that relationship, and your actions in every single way, shape, and form are protect against that. If you don't trust, the opportunity in isogenics, everything you're doing and showing up to people is sharing that. It's kind of like, I have this saying is, you might as well tell people your insecurities because everyone else already knows. And people look at me like, well, what do you mean? It's like they don't know the exact. Someone may not know that you don't trust X, Y, and Z, but they can gather there's a trust issue. And so that degrades your trust in them, vice versa. And so that's a challenge. All right, again, none of this is on the list of things just pop into my head. The last one is, and kind of on the heels of that, being a trust dealer. Being, talking about trust is being a hope dealer. One of our greatest opportunities in this business, in this world, whether from a health point of view, a community point of view, a financial point of view, whatever it may be, is to tell people there's hope. There is hope for something bigger, better, stronger, more exciting. I shared this yesterday again on the Power Hour with Lucas. Is one of the guys that kind of been chatting with here for a little while. I see him at soccer practices and we talk. And one of the things that we talked a little bit about, talked about nutrition, whatever, but I really brought up the community and how that uplifts and how that really, it's sharing hope. In a world that we're not sure what's going on, where are kids going to be, what does gym look like, what is financial this or that, what is our, even if our job is kind of solid. Hey, you work for Amazon, things are great right now. I saw something yesterday where, Jeff Bezos, he went from being worth just over 100 billion to now almost 200 billion in a matter of 9 months because of how much Amazon has grown because we're all ordering products to be delivered. And, so as we were talking about that, I think that's one of the greatest things this community provides me personally. And then I learned about this morning. I have a book that I'm reading, and it's right here. I'm going to grab it. It is by Ryan Hawk. Ryan is the host to the Learning Leader podcast. He wrote this book, Welcome to Management, and it's really been a good read. I've had it for a while. I actually interviewed Ryan on a podcast when, Kelly and I had the Tyler and Kelly podcast, and have gotten to be pretty good friends with the guy. And listening to it, it's like, man, there's some good stuff. And one of the things he talked about in the section I listened to this morning was Pro-noia versus Para-noia. Well, let me explain that if you're not used, understanding what those. Pro-noia is thinking that everything in the world is working for you. Anything that happens is working for you. It's kind of like the person that gets, stopped at a stoplight and they're in a hurry and they drive ahead and they're like, why is that? Well, someone pro-noia may be like, hey, that saved me from maybe a T-bone collision down the road. As opposed to the one Para-noia gets stopped at that stoplight and it's like the world is conspiring against me to be late. How much in our world do we fall into the Para-noia that everything is conspiring against you as opposed to having a focus of Pro-noia? I shared this the other day. I believe this. I believe this in total. I believe the best in everyone. I don't believe people go out and act to hurt others. I don't believe people go about their day saying, how can I screw people over? I just don't believe that. I'm more of the people either don't think that way, because it's the last thing I would think is, how can I go act today and really make sure Debbie feels what I feel? In other words, I'm upset. No, that doesn't happen. It's more of like, I know whatever Debbie's saying is good for my life. And that's great. And everyone else saying good morning, and Sherry and Joanna and Veronica love it. That, we're all here to lift each other up, and if see something, it's like, that is for my benefit rather than that is conspiring against me. Believe the best in people. And I think when you do that, you become a hope dealer. And that is our greatest opportunity. It really is to share hope with people. And maybe who knows what that looks like, but be willing to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be a hope dealer. I'm going to act with pro-noia, that things are conspiring to work for me, not against me. And I know when you do that, you fall into something else. And Allison Matthews mentioned this morning in a voice text that she sent me. The book, oh my goodness, I just lost it. We were talking about, Becoming a Person of Influence by John Maxwell and Jim Dornan. Great book, phenomenal book if you haven't read it. And it's like, you got to have trust with people in order to influence them. And if you're a dealer in hope, I guarantee you're going to, convey more hope. You're going to connect with people in a greater way when you are, thinking the world is conspiring for me. Now, you can be a realist. I'm a realist. And that's fine. But there's also when you look at it, it's like, hey, the world's conspiring for me rather than against me. Anyways, have a great day, guys, and be back here tomorrow.